Hey guys, Mr. Pruitt here. Today I wanted to address a couple of questions that we've received in the last week, as well as go over the general tournament format and rules. Before we get into that, however, I want to thank the student who came forward and pointed out that some of the middle schools have locked down YouTube. I apologize for not thinking of this sooner. Attached to this email, you will not only find a link to this YouTube video, but for those of you who can't view this video on YouTube, you will find this video as an attachment that you should be able to view. It should just link to a generic like Google Drive file, and you should be able to view the video in Google Drive. And I will also attach last week's video that way as a Google Drive file so you can view it at your convenience. For those of you who are able to view this video on YouTube, a lot of the links and information I share today will be found in the description below. So let's first go over the important question. The important question that I got last week was, what does the tournament look like? Is it OG? Is it Battle Royale? Is it neither? What's the game mode? So the game mode is Zone Wars. And I think that is a perfect segue to talk about the actual rules for a little bit. And again, a link to the rules will be found in the description below or in the email if you're viewing this in Google Drive. So here's how the tournament's going to work. There are two phases. There's a group phase and there is a actual bracket phase. The reason we're doing a group phase is because we've never seen you guys play before. We don't know everybody's skills. So to try and ensure the fairest outcome possible and hopefully get the best two teams to the final, we're doing a group phase first that will help us determine the remaining 16 teams ranks or 18 teams ranks. So this tournament should start off with 36 teams, okay? And when you get here for the tournament that day, you've already registered, but you'll go to a check-in table that we'll have set up in our staging area where we'll also be selling concession stuff, food, drinks, snacks, that sort of thing. Right now we're thinking pizza. We'll sell it by the slice. That may change before next Saturday, but just to give you a little bit of information on that. We'll have a check-in table. You'll check in, you and your teammate, and you and your teammate will report to whatever classroom the person at the registration table tells you to go to. You'll either be in my classroom, Mr. Pruitt, you'll be in Mr. Batcher's classroom, or you'll be in Mr. Aiken's classroom. There will be smart boards at the front of the classroom that will have the stream pulled up. So that way, if you are not in the lab actively playing, you can sort of scout other teams and see how they're doing. But that is what the group phase is for. So what the group phase is you're basically going to play against the other teams in your room until half the teams in your room are eliminated. And that's going to help us figure out where to rank you on the actual elimination bracket. And here's how each match is going to go. So here's the match format. It is single elimination. So no matter what phase we're in, if you lose, you're out of the tournament. So if you lose in the group phase, you're out. Okay, if you lose in the next phase of the tournament, the bracket, you're out. The game format is first to 10 rounds wins. Obviously, your team size is 2 players. And you can see up here above me, this is the island code. This island code should spawn you into a map called Rapid Realistics 2v2. This is the actual island code that we use in the high school tournament. My team plays in the state league on a high school level, and this is the map that they use. The loadout that you'll be selecting is box fight loot, even though this is Zone Wars. So all matches within the tournament will share the same format listed above, regardless of phase. Okay? Next thing, let's go over player equipment. You'll all have access to an esports lab computer, a stable internet connection, and a generic Epic Games account to compete in the tournament, as well as a generic Discord account to be able to communicate with your partner. We're doing generic accounts for 2 reasons. One, because we know that there's going to be times where not everybody remembers like their Epic Games password. And so being able to get everybody logged in and get the tournament, like keep the tournament moving and get you guys all dismissed at a reasonable time, that's just going to be very difficult. So we're doing generic Epic Games accounts for that reason. The reason we're doing Discord accounts and having you guys communicate through Discord instead of the in-game voice chat is because the in-game voice chat doesn't always have the best clarity. So you get an improved quality on Discord, but also we want to be able to keep your voice chat separate from the game audio, because for the first time, we're going to be streaming the game audio along with the video, so that your parents or any viewers at home can hear not only the game audio, but they can hear the shoutcaster. And they won't have trouble hearing the shoutcaster because maybe you guys are like yelling over each other or whatever. So there will be generic Discord accounts set up, already sitting in a voice channel. You'll be able to communicate with your partner that way. There will be generic Epic Games IDs, already have the game launched. Along with those software things, equipment. You can bring in a compatible controller or mouse and keyboard. If an outside controller is plugged up to the esports lab computers, it must not have any programmable macros. So what I mean by that is you have your standard controllers, Xbox, Nintendo Switch Pro, PS5. This is the DualSense. This is just a generic Xbox Series controller. And then you have your Pro variants. For PS5, I think it's Dual Edge. And then Xbox has their Xbox Elite controllers. You are more than welcome to bring in a Dual Edge or a Elite controller that have like the back paddles, because those are just extra buttons that basically you can make this paddle the right trigger. But there are third-party controllers out there that have what are called macro buttons, where when you press them, it does like a bunch of stuff all at once. And I've seen people program a macro to automatically crank 90s. We're not allowing that. That's unfair. Even for people with Elite controllers and Dual Edge controllers, that's just unfair to have to go against. If an outside keyboard and mouse is plugged into the Esports Labs, it also cannot have any programmable macros enabled. Additionally, third-party software for keyboard and mice will not be downloaded onto the Esports Lab computers. But this shouldn't be a problem because most keyboard and mice have it to where when you change the settings, it saves it to the sort of circuit board in the keyboard and mouse. Here's the match process and the post-match process. So pre-match setup, we're going to allow you guys 5 minutes to change in-game settings to your liking, because we're going to have potentially up to 72 students, right? 36 teams. And because of that, that means you're not necessarily going to be sitting at the same computer every time, and there also might be somebody who comes in after you that has different settings that they like. So before each match, we're going to allow you up to 5 minutes to change your in-game settings. If everybody in your match, all 4 people, have the settings the way they like, you must go ahead and start. And then here's the match setup. So after you select teams, you're going to vote for the box fight loot loadout. If a different loadout is selected, You need to return to the lobby and recreate the match. If a single round or multiple rounds are completed with the incorrect loadouts, a complete match reset will be enacted by the officials. And then lastly, is post-match process. So, like I said before, there's a group phase and then there's the bracket phase. After the match is completed, you will raise your hand and a tournament official will come over to confirm and record scores. The winning team will advance to the next phase of the tournament, and your score will contribute to how you are seated in the next phase for the bracket. And that's really it. There are some other rules in there about like a stoppage of play, game of record, team requirements, things like that. But I'm going to let you guys read those for yourselves. Again, a link to the rules will be in the description below or in the email. And then the other question that I got last week was about PC hardware. So these computers have a Ryzen 7 7700X 8-core processor running at 4.5 gigahertz, 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 inside of them. I say this because somebody asked about it because they play on PC at home. I know that that's not everybody's case. So to the person that asked this question, these specs may be better than your computer at home. They may not be. Either way, these specs are good enough to A, run Fortnite, and B, be able to run it better than a console, which I imagine is what most people in this tournament are used to. They're used to playing at home on a console because PC gaming is very expensive. But with that being said, you know, we invite everybody out with all this hardware and everything like that. We invite you out. You're going to have a great time. You're going to be able to game with some friends and potentially earn prizes and, you know, eat some pizza and drinks and everything like that. It's going to be a great time. If you haven't registered yet just because you were looking for more information, I hope that this answers all your questions about what the tournament's going to be like. If you haven't registered yet because maybe you're getting cold feet, again, you don't need to worry about this. Like, just come out and have fun. That's what our main goal is here. Is let everybody come out and let's have a good time. I hope that answers everybody's questions. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody next Saturday, May the 9th, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.